Hey Nick, I just watched your first two videos, your responses to Greatex, and I posted a comment to the first one, but I'll repeat the issue I was trying to bring up in this video. Um, Basically, you were responding to Greatex saying that you cannot know your own unconscious because that's the definition of the unconscious. It's out of the reach of the ego. The I cannot know what it doesn't know. And I was wondering if, as you've also said, there is no I. The I is just something that happens. We're not in control of it. Then, for who is anything unconscious? And it's not that whenever you become or realize the non-I, whatever that is, whenever you drop the ego game, it's not that you then are aware of an unconscious. It's just that there's no such thing anymore because there's no ego existing in opposition to it. So I'm not disagreeing with your original statement that an I cannot know it's unconscious. I'm just saying without the I, there is no unconscious. And so what is it that's unconscious for the I when we talk as though there is one? And in your second video, you were talking about how it is that human beings are able to learn something, to learn not to be surprised, specifically. Because, the first time we see something happen, it may frighten us, but then once we get used to it, whatever that entails, it no longer frightens us because we know what to expect. We seem to learn, we seem to gain knowledge, and that seems to make us think that there's this central core self that is deciding or willing to recognize a pattern. And that seems to be a bit difficult to really find anywhere in the actual biological stuff going on in here. The will, whether or not it's free, just the very fact of there being a will is interesting because, like you were saying, Nick, we can, in some circumstances, not learn. We can be frightened twice by the same exact thing. So what happens there? And why is there this seeming contingency about your ability to learn? Why is the will contingent? But there's still a will. There's the reason that we could learn or could not learn is because that's the nature of will, of our so-called free will. We have the freedom to turn reality, which we would normally think of as necessity, into something contingent. We can learn about the stimulus that frightened us and not be frightened the second time, or we can not learn. And it's impossible to predict which it will be in any particular case before it actually happens. Once it actually happens, it becomes a necessary part of the causal chain that we can draw all the way back to the beginning of time. But before it happens, we have no idea. And I guess maybe I'm trying to bring the free will issue back into play here, though not as some separate thing inside of us that is able to control all of our actions, but just the inherent contingency of the future, which makes it somehow seem as though there were some freedom, that everything isn't caused by something that's already there, but in fact novelty is really possible, creativity is really possible. And just think about the word itself, will. When we say I will do it, we're talking about the future. So free will is all about the contingency of the future, that anything can happen that we have no way of predicting based on the past. No matter how intricate and detailed we may map the causal nexus, it's still unpredictable. So, hopefully that makes some sense. Maybe it's gibberish. I'm not sure. But let me know what you think. Take it easy.